Welcome back to my channel. My name is Danielle. If you're new here, this is my 5th day of our 30-day yoga series, an uplifting, motivational, and inspirational yoga series to help you be consistent on your mat and to take your practice into your everyday life to live your best life. All the practices are stretching and strengthening, breath practice, and deep relaxation. If this all sounds good to you, roll out your mat and let's begin. Remember, you can start anywhere in the series, so feel free to begin from where you are. We'll start in a kneeling position today. If that's not right for you, feel free to stand or you could even sit. If you have a yoga block, you can place it between your ankles and sit on the yoga block. If you tuck your toes under, which for most of us might feel quite uncomfortable, and try to bring your heels together and then sit on your heels. We're opening up the arches in our feet. If it hurts, try to stay there for just a breath or two, and then you can untuck your toes and sit this way. The arches on our feet close up from wearing shoes each day, which affects our posture and our low back and spinal issues that we might have. So bring your hands to your thighs, palms facing down for grounding. Feel your shoulders and your hips aligned and your ears over your shoulders. Close your eyes and we'll begin the practice. Take an inhale through the nose, rest your mouth, relax your jaw, and breathe out through the mouth. Let's do that a few more times until you feel like you have arrived in the present moment. Then rest your tongue on the roof of the mouth, and we'll begin Ujjayi breathing. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Rest your tongue on the roof of your mouth and find an even breath. Your eyes are still closed. You can feel the breath filling your container, your body. You can imagine a ring around the abdomen, and as you breathe, you expand in all directions into the ring like a hoop. And as you exhale, draw the navel into the spine, lifting the pelvic floor. You can let the eyes start to open up and release the toes if you had them tucked under and sit on your heels. Take your hands to your heart space now, and we'll come to our intention and our affirmation for our practice today on day 5. Rest your thumbs right at the heart space. Bow your head inwards. I am grateful for all the abundance in my life and all the blessings yet to come. I am grateful for all the abundance in my life and all the blessings yet to come. Let the eyes start to open. We'll take the arms out to the sides and rise up onto our high knees. Again, you can do this seated or standing, just modifying. Exhale, release the hands to the heart, lower the sits bones to the heels. You can press into the tops of the feet. Inhale. You might start to take a little bit more of a back bend. And exhale. See how your body feels today. Taking in all the beauty around you. All the blessings in your life. One more time. Breathe in. And out. Now you can take your hands to your shoulders, and we'll start to lift the right elbow up towards the sky, and then the left elbow. Just starting to awaken the shoulder joints. Inhaling and exhaling. And we'll go the opposite direction now. So the left elbow comes forwards and then the right. Almost like you're moving through water. Just starting to release any stiffness in the body. All right, release the arms, bring the hands to the hips, come up high onto your knees, and we'll step the right foot forwards into a low lunge. So start to push down into the back foot, move your hips forwards and down, starting to stretch this back thigh. We'll get a little side bending into the body today, a little back bending. Take the elbows back. So notice if your shoulders are dropping forwards and you're leaning forwards. See if you can lift the pubic bone, lift the navel, lift the heart space, and maybe even the gaze goes upwards. Let's take the hands behind the low back so the elbows start to reach backwards, almost like you're pushing your sacrum forwards, but we're not. Take a couple more breaths. You might sink a little deeper. One last breath in, and exhale, release the hands down. As you lift up your back knee, we'll walk our hands over to the left side. We're going to work with both sides of the mat today, and then lower down onto your right knee. So same movement here. Bring the hands to the hips for balance. If you find yourself a little wobbly, walk your left foot to the left. You can untuck your back toes. Bring the hands behind you like you have them in your pockets. Hug your elbows back, your arm bones back. Draw your navel in, so we're moving our belly away from our thigh, and then begin to descend. Feel the breath in the front of the body and the back of the body. Just being thankful for all the abundance in your life. There's so many blessings that we have, from food and water, to the air we breathe, to our health, our family, our friends. It's a way that I find positivity in each day. A gratitude practice. Bring your hands to your hips, tuck the back toes, bring the hands down to the ground, lift your back knee, and walk your hands to the center of the mat. Now we're going to turn the right foot out so that the knee is going to track over the toes. We'll come into this half yogi squat as we stretch the left inner thigh and open the right hip. So you can do a couple of different things here. Your left toes can be down, or you can let them come up off the ground. I like to also use my elbow and nudge it into my knee to let it open up. I am grateful for all the abundance in my life and many more blessings to come. If you don't have a gratitude practice, you might want to try each day when you wake up to find 3 things that you're grateful for. It really helps as you move through the day. Let's go over to the left side. Walk your hands. Push the left knee out towards the left big toe. And the left elbow can nudge into the left thigh. Always avoid the inner knee area. You might have 2 hands on the ground. This is also a nice pose to do with blocks. So you still have your ujjayi breathing, softening into the hip creases. Any place where you feel stiffness, inner thigh. One more time. Now we'll come back to center. Bring your hands to the mat or your blocks. Look where your feet are. Turn them both in slightly. Lift up halfway. Push your hands down and back as you reach the top of the head forwards. Move the shoulders away from the ears. One more time. And we'll turn to the right. So walk your hands to the right and we'll step the back foot forwards to the top of the mat for a forward fold Uttanasana. You might want to take the hands and bring them behind the calves. Hug the elbows inward. Gently press into the calves as the chin comes down towards the chest. Release any tension in the neck, in the upper back. And then you can slowly release out of the pose. Let the fingers drag up the shin bones, the knees, purposely rounding the spine and standing all the way up into mountain pose. So we'll stand in mountain pose now and just start to move the shoulders a little bit. So take your right shoulder up and back, and then your left shoulder. And you can do the same with each side 2 to 3 times. You can let your body kind of move a little bit or sway, and then go the opposite direction. I love practicing outdoors. The nature around is so abundant. I feel so blessed. There's bees and spiders and hummingbirds and songbirds. And then come into stillness. Bring your arms out to the sides. Now turn your thumbs outward so we externally rotate. Engage the legs, draw the navel in, and we'll inhale, reach the arms overhead. You can bring the hands to touch, and on the exhale, let the hands drop behind the head. You might look upwards, and then inhale, reach the arms back up, and exhale, turn the palms to face the thighs and bring them back down. So let's do that a few more times. Inhale, arms lift out and up, palms facing up, hands come together. Take a breath. On the exhale, bend at the elbows. Let the thumbs reach back towards the upper back. Inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, arms come back down. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Now we'll move back down towards the ground. Bring the big toes to touch. Inhale, reach the arms overhead. I'm grateful for all the abundance in my life. Exhale and forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale and fold. Then step the left foot back. Turn the back foot out. We'll come into warrior two. Front heel lines up with the middle of the back foot. Left arm back, right arm forwards. Have a moment to sit down nice and deep to the place that feels right for you. Sometimes we run into a negative situation and we might forget about all the abundance in our life, all the blessings that we have. So when you feel uncomfortable in the pose, soften and come back to all the blessings. We'll go into reverse warrior, back hand on back thigh, front palm faces up and over. Today, maybe take the hand behind the head. Now, if it's too intense, just straighten your front leg for a moment, and then you can come back into the pose and reach all the way up to the elbow. You can look down for a little bit more stability. Maybe the left hand goes beneath the knee. Inhale, come back to center. Now we're going to move to warrior two on the second side from here. So just turn the right foot in and the left leg out. Exhale and descend. Gaze out towards your left fingers. Give yourself a moment to sink down. Find that place where you can open your hips and find some strengthening in your legs. It can be the simple things. You might feel grateful for your transportation to and from work. Could be the health of yourself or your family members, something a little larger. Bring your back hand to your back leg, palm facing up, and come into reverse warrior. Hand comes behind the head, and then lean back into the hand. Open the chest. Open into your heart space today. You might look skyward. Feel any tightness and soften and breathe as the stability of the earth is beneath you. Come back to center. And once again, we'll turn towards the front. Back into warrior two. This time, one breath and one movement. Exhale, reverse warrior. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale and transition, warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale and transition. Release your hands down to the ground. Come into plank pose. As you come into plank pose, pause here. Set the knees on the ground. And we'll come into puppy pose here. So see where your knees are. Get your knees underneath your hips. Walk your hands forwards like little tents or gecko fingers. Bring the forehead to the earth or in that direction. Breathe out through your mouth. Two more times. Last exhalation, breathe in and out. Rise back up onto hands and knees. Now from hands and knees, start with your right knee. Bring your right knee in, out to the side and back. In towards the navel, out to the side and back. So we're getting some mobility in the hip. One more time. In, out to the side and back. And go in the opposite direction. Back, out to the side and in. Back, out to the side and in. Then switching sides, left knee comes in, out to the side and back. In, out to the side and back. I can hear all of the bees out in the forest humming around. Here comes a daddy long legs on my mat. All the abundance in my life. I'm so blessed. Let's go the opposite way. Back, out to the side and in. Oh, your hips should be feeling good now. Let's come up into our first downward facing dog. So walk your hands slightly in front of the shoulders, draw the navel in. Try this today. Lift off your knees and try to press your chest as far back to your thighs first. Then bring your ears in line with your arms and start to straighten the legs in that direction. They might not go all the way. Press your inner thighs back, get more length as you push down and forwards. Breathe out. Two more. Breathe in and out. Last one. Now you can step the left foot to the center of your mat and lift your right leg back and up. Exhale, take the knee towards the navel and set the foot down between the hands. We're going to revisit warrior two. Turn the back foot out and rise up. Not for long though. As you come into warrior two, just sit down and see if you can go a little deeper, and then bring your hands to your hips and straighten your leg. Turn both feet inward. And now we're going to turn both feet out. So we'll come into goddess pose. Bend both your knees and look to see where your knees are. If they're dropping in, try to move them outwards so we're getting that nice external rotation of our thighs. Sit down as far as you can to feel a little bit of opening in your hips, not too much discomfort, and then you can reach the arms out to the sides into full goddess pose. Feel your shoulder blades drawing together. Now we can stand up, inhale. Imagine you have like a bar in your hands or a weight, and you're drawing it down as you exhale. So you use those muscles on the back body. Inhale and exhale. Let's do two more. Breathe in. Breathe out. Really use those rhomboids. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Now let's stay here. 2 more breaths. Straighten your legs. I'm going to take a modified side angle pose. So right forearm on right thigh, left arm goes up and over. Now you can straighten the legs in between if you'd like. And then we'll go to the second side. Exhale. Can look down. Or perhaps stay in that goddess pose position and go to the second side. Building strength through the legs. One more. Come back to center. Now stand up. Feels so good. Like you're coming up out of the clear waters of a river. Bring the hands to the heart. Turn both feet inwards. Bring the hands to the hips and the elbows back. You can also interlace the hands behind the back. I'll turn around so you can see. You can bring the hands together, the heels of the hands and the elbows. So 2 options. Either the yoga mudra position, which I just showed you, or hands on the hips. Begin to hinge forwards. Lengthen the spine. Chin towards the chest. Knuckles reaching towards the sky above. Looking between the legs. Looking from a different angle with a new perspective. I'm grateful for all the abundance and many more blessings in my life. Last breath. And release your hands. Inhale, lift up halfway. And exhale, walk our hands to the right side of the mat. From here, step your right foot back. Take one last downward facing dog. Hands and knees return to the earth. Take a breath in, shift the shoulders forwards, hug the elbows in, and slowly descend. Modified chaturanga. My hips are still lifted, my shoulders in line with my elbows. I pause and breathe. Exhale, release. Let's bring the arms by the sides and turn your right ear to the right for a moment. Just take a breath in and a breath out and let your body release to the ground. Close your eyes. Just notice how the neck feels and the upper back. And turn your head the opposite way now. Exhale. You can bring your head back to center and bring the hands beneath you and roll over onto your back body. So just get centered on your mat. Come down onto your elbows and all the way down onto the ground. Oh, the sky is so beautiful above. So we'll take our feet and bring them underneath the knees. So we're setting up for a set 2 bandhasana or bridge pose. I just want you to be mindful of the back of the neck. You should be able to take your hand and slide it under the neck so that you have space there. From here, we'll bring our hands down onto the ground, palms facing down. Wiggle your shoulder blades under a bit. And your fingers should almost be able to touch your heels. They don't have to touch. I have a shorter torso and I'm quite flexible, so it's easier for me just to reach my heels. Okay, but if you can kind of tip from left to right and reach your heels, you're in the right place. So starting off, you can grab the edges of the mat as if you're going to pull them apart. Tuck your shoulder blades under, press into your feet, and just gaze upwards. So the chin is lifting, you start to lift the sits bones. You feel the knees, they're not splaying apart. They're staying hips distance. Now take 2 more breaths. You can tuck the shoulder blades under, push into your feet. Look down towards your chest with your eyes. One more breath in. Feel all the abundance. And slowly release down. You can release the sits bones and then the upper back and middle back. Bring the feet wider. Let the knees fall together. Bring the hands onto the belly. Close the eyes and just let yourself observe any sensations or feelings that arise for you. Can go a little deeper into the pose. So you might want to take the hands flat on the ground now instead of holding the edges of the mat if you're ready to move forwards. Tuck the shoulder blades under and begin to lift. Sitting bones rise. Tuck the shoulder blades under. Ideally, press the hands down, the wrists down, and the forearms down into the earth. Just opening and expanding through the chest and into your heart space. Strengthening the back side of the body to support you. One more breath. And release. Sits bones, upper back, middle back. Let's take the feet wide again. Hands come onto the navel center. And release. Just feeling maybe tingling sensations, new energy through the body that you're creating as you breathe. New energy in, old energy out. We'll try one last bridge pose. So you can take any of the first two modifications that we did, or you can move into the yoga mudra position. I would try to grow slowly into the pose. Lift the sits bones, wiggle from one side to the other, interlace the hands. Press the feet down, lift the hips. Notice if the knees are opening. Imagine hugging a yoga block or a towel between the thighs. 3 more breaths. I'm grateful for all the abundance in my life. I'm grateful for the opportunity to travel. I am grateful for all the abundance in my life and many more blessings to come. Gently release. Release the hands, sits bones, upper back, middle back. Bring the feet wide, the knees together. Hand on the heart, hand on the belly. Bring the knees into the chest. Hug the knees in. Rock a little bit from left to right. Set the feet down on the mat. Cross the right ankle on top of the left thigh. Push the knee away from you. Try to line the knee up with the ankle as the right foot flexes. If that feels good, bring the hands under the hamstring into that figure 4 hip stretch. One last breath. From there, set the left foot on the ground and let your legs windshield wiper over to the left as your left foot moves to the right. You can take your right arm out to the side, gaze to your right, a few breath cycles. Back to center. We'll switch sides. Right foot down, left leg up, cross the leg. Find that opening first. Left knee moves in line with the left ankle first. Stay here. You don't need to go any further if the knee is not coming in line with the ankle. Try to press your shoulders down and your head down Lifting the chin slightly, same little space under the neck. Bring the hands under the hamstring. 3 breaths. I see the clouds passing by above, reminding me to let thoughts that come into my mind to drift past. Any worries, any stresses, I just let them go right now. And as I practice each day on my mat, I'm able to take that practice into my life with me, into my everyday life off of my mat. Take the right foot down. You can let that left foot move towards the direction of the ground. Maybe a gentle little opening there. Left arm to the left, gaze to the left. Relaxing the left side body. And come back to center. Releasing the leg. As always, I will link a longer Shavasana right here, or perhaps a Yoga Nidra. Lengthen your legs, turn your palms to face up, and let's take Shavasana. Feel your eyes soft and gently closed. Relax the forehead, your cheeks, your jaw. Feel your inner gaze down to the heart space. And as you feel your body letting go onto your earth, let your eyes open to your abundant heart. Feeling the radiant light from within. Just resting in this tranquility for a few more moments. As you start to hear my voice, return to your body, feeling the touch of your body on the earth beneath you. When you're ready, start to awaken. You can touch the thumb to the index finger, middle finger, ring finger, pinky finger. Begin to move your wrists and your ankles and your toes, just wiggling back into your body, reaching the arms overhead. Interlace the fingers, press the palms away from you. Bring the big toes to touch. Take a nice big stretch, big breath, and release onto your side. Rolling into your day with new energy to support you, a new mindset. To any negative or challenging encounters that you might face. Notice how you feel. Push yourself upward. Come into an easy seat, or you can come to that kneeling position we started with. Bring your hands to your heart space. Bow your head to your heart. Honor yourself. Thank yourself for your practice and the time that you've carved out for you to improve your overall well-being, to clear your mind, to open your heart. As you step off your mat and you move into your day or your evening, come back to your affirmation over and over again. It will help support you. I'm grateful for all the abundance and many more blessings to come in my life. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much for joining this 30-day series. Please consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Any thoughts or suggestions? It would mean so much to me. See you next time.